Hello everyone, thank you for your interest in stochastic adversarial gradient embedding for active domain adaptation. I am Victor Bouvier from Sightrade and Université Paris-Saclay. This is a joint work with Philippe Véry, Clément Chastagnol, Myriam Tami, and Céline Hudlot. Out-of-distribution generalization is a crucial problem in machine learning. Here, the training data is sampled from a source domain, while the testing data is sampled from a target domain. In the most general case, learning fails if the source and target distributions are different. Unsupervised domain adaptation assumes access to unlabeled target samples to address out-of-distribution generalization. The setup is then the following one. We have access to source-labeled samples, unlabeled target samples, and we want to learn a good classifier in the target domain. Learning domain invariant representations is an important line of study for performing unsupervised domain adaptation. A deep network learns to embed source and target samples such that we cannot infer the domain from representation. Then we learn a classifier from the representations. Invariance refers to the equality between source and target distribution of representations. The hypothesis class is then the composition between a representation layer and a classifier. However, domain invariant representation performs significantly worse than simply training a model on labeled target data, a problem referred to as a lack of transferability of representations. A new line of study called semi-supervised domain adaptation aims to incorporate a few labeled target data to improve transferability of representation. But it assumes that each class is represented with at least one target sample, which is an unrealistic assumption in practice. Indeed, obtaining such a sample is a challenging problem itself. In contrast, active domain adaptation is a more realistic setting for improving the transferability of representations. Interestingly, only a few prior works address active domain adaptation, while it can have a strong impact on real-world applications. Active domain adaptation is very similar to active learning, but performs adaptation during model retraining. We first adapt a model to the new distribution. Then, a query gives us some sample to annotate by an oracle. Such samples are then added to the data as labeled target data. Active domain adaptation is then composed of two components: how to design a good query, how to incorporate newly labeled target samples. We first provide some background about learning domain invariant representations in order to describe the transferability loss, which is a cornerstone of our approach. We then introduce our contribution, which is a novel query especially designed for active domain adaptation. In particular, we select target samples for annotation based on their lack of transferability. Finally, we describe our first experiment as well as a direction for future works. Learning domain invariant representation for unsupervised domain adaptation is a trade-off between the accuracy of prediction in the source domain and domain invariance of representations. Invariance is traditionally measured through the classification loss of a discriminator trained to separate the source from the target domain in the representation space, hence its name of domain adversarial learning. Recently, the transferability loss has been introduced to improve the transferability of domain invariant representations. It is based on multiple domain discriminators, one per class, and combines them by computing a scalar product with the model's output. Model's output is in red in this presentation. In particular, it has been theoretically shown that the transferability loss is a good proxy of the true transferability loss, where you replace the predicted labels with the target ground truth in orange. The success of the transferability loss is directly connected to the quality of the model's output. Are predicted labels well correlated with the ground truth in the target domain? This consideration is the grounding of our work. We want to use active learning to provide a better estimation of the true transferability loss. Let's dive into the SGD update of the network parameter theta. If we replace the model outputs with a true label, the SGD is modified as follows. More precisely, we are interested in the change from the scalar product between the model's output with the gradient and the true label with the gradient. How to quantify such a discrepancy when provided with knowledge of the true labels? Let's get some intuition. The gradient is a vector of dimension c times m, where c is the number of classes and m is the dimension of the representations. For the true transferability loss, if the true label is the first class, then the gradient is the blue arrow. If the true label is the second class, then the gradient is the red arrow, and so on. Importantly, when the true label is unknown and using the predicted label as a proxy, that is the model output, the transferability loss is the gradient mean. Thus, we build a criterion to quantify the discrepancy between these two quantities. To this purpose, we introduce SAGE, Stochastic Adversarial Gradient Embedding, which is an embedding of target samples that reflects their lack of transferability. We will use this embedding to build a query policy for active learning. We will select target samples with the highest norm. We show that SAGE has a Euclidean structure, allowing to increase the sampling diversity during active learning. We select samples with high norms that span in various directions of the embedding space. How to measure the variation of the gradient? You cannot simply compute the difference between the two gradients, since it requires the true label in the target domain. To overcome this issue, we use the model's output as a proxy of the true probability distribution of the label. After computing a positive orthogonal projection, we are able to estimate variation in both direction and magnitude of the gradient. More precisely, the query is built on the expected norm of tilg, which is the corrected gradient. We refer to the paper for more mathematical details on this aspect of the method. To increase sampling diversity, we sample in various directions of the gradient. We rely on the K-mean++ algorithm that needs to compute the norm of the gradient difference between 2 points, x1 and x2. It is not a trivial operation to compute such a distance. Indeed, x1 and x2 may not have the same distribution of labels, leading to a different norm. To address this problem, we build SAGE as follows. It corresponds to the norm introduced before, but allows to compare properly the gradient of two samples. Please refer to the paper for more mathematical details about this aspect of the method. We increase the diversity of sampling using K-mean++ initialization. It allows sampling vectors with high norms that span in various directions. The algorithm is very intuitive. We first start by selecting the vector with the highest norm. Second, we select the most distant vector from the first one. Third, we select the most distant vector from the two first selected vectors, and so on. That allows to span in various directions of the embedding space. We present the result of the preliminary experiment that we have performed so far. We used 3 benchmarks for active domain adaptation: Office 31 with 31 classes, Visual Domain Adaptation benchmark with 12 classes, and DomainNet, which is a large-scale benchmark for domain adaptation. DomainNet has 126 classes. We used various budgets of annotation, from a small budget of 8 samples per round to a large budget of 128 samples per round. We compare to the state-of-the-art for active domain adaptation called Active Adversarial Domain Adaptation, AADA. We also compare with more traditional baseline for active learning. including random sampling and k-mean sampling to evaluate diversity sampling, and entropy and confidence sampling to evaluate uncertainty sampling. Importantly, we compare with respect to BEIGE, a method that achieves state-of-the-art in deep active learning. SAGE, in blue, performs better than active adversarial domain adaptation and better than naively combining the adaptation algorithm with BEIGE, a state-of-the-art query for deep active learning. Here, another example on the visual domain adaptation benchmark. When using more traditional baselines, we observe that SAGE still performs better, which is very encouraging. We also study the importance of two core components of our approach, the positive orthogonal projection and the k-mean plus initialization. Both components are crucial for the success of SAGE. We can appreciate the importance of diversity, where the orange curve does not benefit from diversity. We compare with semi-supervised domain adaptation. Maximin entropy, noted MME, is a strong baseline for semi-supervised domain adaptation, and AADA is our main baseline for active domain adaptation. MME works with a fixed number of samples per class. One sample, a setting called one-shot, or three samples, a setting called three-shot. These two settings define the left and the right part of the table. Note that collecting such samples is a challenging problem itself for real-world application. Since DomainNet has 126 classes, after 6 rounds of annotation, an active method has collected the same number of target samples as MME, if the budget is 21 for one shot or 63 for 3 shots. Thus, we compare all the methods with the same number of labeled target samples. We first observe that SAGE improves significantly active domain adaptation with respect to AADA. Second, SAGE performs in a similar range to MME and benefits from more realistic assumptions for real-world application, since we interact to collect samples. We have introduced SAGE, an embedding that allows quantifying the lack of transferability of a target sample, and we have successfully applied this embedding for active domain adaptation. You can find in the paper more results about semi-supervised domain adaptation with SAGE. Active domain adaptation performs similarly or better than semi-supervised domain adaptation, while it benefits from more realistic assumptions. Of course, this is a preliminary work and we welcome feedback. We plan to improve SAGE by drawing inspiration from margin-based sampling. Indeed, we discovered later that margin-based sampling could be competitive with SAGE on some scenarios. If you are interested in active domain adaptation, it is a subject that attracts some attention recently. It is very exciting since we need for more theoretical grounding and to scale very extensive experiments to more challenging benchmarks. Thank you very much for your attention. We would like to thank the Committee of Interactive Adaptive Learning Workshop for their great feedback about our work and for the opportunity to present it. Thanks again.